Hello Scorpio, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. If Scorpio is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. And if there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Scorpio, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And a Three of Pentacles. Very nice. That's a very good way to start a reading. Let's put that into some context. All right, because I feel like we're starting to get involved in some very important work. But let's see what is going on with our work right now. Well, I think this is amazing. Nine of Pentacles. Things are going to be a little bit different. I think yeah, look at all this. We definitely need some kind of fire energy, though. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. We're going to select from the Smith-Waite Tarot. And this is just one card. We're going to set it aside. We'll put our horse on top. They can take a little nap right there. And we're not going to look at that card until the very end. Hopefully it will tie everything together and give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. Let's take a look at this again. We have a couple of court cards. We have some earth. Well, look, we've got earth, earth, and earth. We've got water, water, and that's some air. We've got major arcana, earth, and water. A lot of earth, a lot of water, and a little bit of air. The air that we have, I think, is really perfect. We have a Seven of Swords, and then we've got the Fool, right? So I think what we're kind of trying to do is find a balance between Fool and Seven, right? We need to find a balance. We don't want the blockage of the air. We don't want the air to be restricted and kind of kept down underneath everything. But we also don't want the complete, absolute, like, recklessness, wildness of the Fool, right? We need somewhere, we need something kind of in between. And perhaps what we need to do is start the journey from Seven to Fool so that we can find the balance, right? Maybe that's kind of where the balance comes from, is going kind of one extreme to the other. We'll see. We'll see. We'll get to those energies. But right now, we've got all of this earth to deal with. Let's look at the earth energy first. Recent past, present, and perhaps the future now. I think this is really this is the beginning of a really wonderful success. Let's talk about the great stuff first. The Nine of Pentacles. This, I think, is what we're looking at tomorrow. This is what is in front of you. This is some work that you do. Now, when I say work, I don't just mean your job, your career, your employment, or what you do for money. I mean, what do you spend your days working on, right? Working, it's a verb, it's a function, it's something that we do, okay? I feel like what we're looking at tomorrow is a lot of gains from this, a lot of success. We're starting to see the visible signs of progress. Everything seems like it's coming together, right? I think that this is us going from small to really great, okay? I feel like we're going from just like a little cottage business, a little home business, to like large-scale productions, okay? Now, maybe you're working on, maybe you do have like an Etsy or a cottage business of some kind. I think you're really going to see an increase in revenue, in customers, in demand, okay? Now, this could be something else, like if you have your own YouTube channel. This could be, it's going kind of small, boom, blow up, right? Huge. Because this is really a big future. This is a lot of success very quickly. I really think this is the beginning of great things. I really do. I think everything you wanted is contained in this Nine of Pentacles. This could be a work thing. It could be career. It could be your YouTube channel, your Etsy. It could be your family and your relationship too. Could be. It's kind of has a domestic vibe a little bit. It could be your health and well-being, right? Your exercise plan. Because I feel like currently you're doing a lot of work. You're trying to keep all of your plates spinning at the same time, you know. I feel like you're trying really, really hard to keep things going how they're going. And I think that if we can just continue with this steady work, then you'll hit. It'll be that big Nine of Pentacles. But it's just a matter now of supplying the right amount of energy to the different areas of this. You know, if it's a business, you got to have the creative side, you know, the production, and then also the business side, the marketing, right? The financial side, right? The technical side as well as the artistic side. There's a lot of different things. Plus you have to take care of yourself, right? You've got your own stuff to deal with. If this is a health-related thing, well, this is diet, this is exercise, this is, you know, spiritual health, right? This is the kind of tripod that supports what we're doing, right? The tripod, perhaps, of your two lungs and your heart, right? And, well, maybe your brain, maybe lungs, heart, and brain, something like that. But it's that Holy Trinity that is the foundation of everything right now, right? So it's the three components of this work that you're doing, and each one needs to be in place. Each one needs to be activated. Each one needs to be, well, spinning. You know, it's kind of like that drone analogy that I use with the Three of Pentacles. Kind of looks like one of those drones. It looks like there's some fans there on the bottom. And you have to supply current to each of the fans, and they all have to be spinning in unison for that thing to ascend, right? For things to go up, which is that's the direction we want to go. If one fan isn't spinning fast enough, we're going to get lateral movement, and it's probably just going to flop right over, crash, right? Go up a little bit, and then bam, right back down again. Sometimes lateral movement is okay. You know, that's how you steer, right? You take away a little bit of power to one of the fans, and then it will get a little bit of a pitch, you know, roll, whatever it is. I don't think we want that right now, though. Now's not the time to make those little changes and start going kind of sideways. It's not time to do barrel rolls or anything. Now we want just a straight, steady climb. So we have to focus on all of these three things. It could be, you know, physical health, mental health, and spiritual health. It could be literally your circulatory system, your cardiovascular system, and, well, your nervous system. Everything working in conjunction, everything working harmoniously, right? All of these holy trinities, right? I think every philosophy, every religion has these holy trinities, right? And I think even in this reading, we've got some of this, okay? We have a lot of this earth energy, which when we add in this pesky Eight of Cups here, it's kind of making us a little sluggish. It's a little bit of what in the East is called the tamas. And it's a sluggish, dark kind of energy that brings everything down to a slowness. It's inertia. It's just this lack of motivation to move, right? It's just we're kind of going slower and slower. So it seems to me with this Eight of Cups here that and that's why I said at the beginning, we need some fire here. We need the rajas. We need the passion, the excitement, the activity. Because I kind of feel like our ability to keep working at this steady pace is starting to wane. We're starting to get tired. We're starting to slow down. We're starting to just feel like, I just need to quit. It's getting more difficult to maintain the level of work that you're doing. And again, this could be your cottage business, your Etsy, your YouTube. It could be your family, your friends. It could be a career thing, right? It could be a business that you're starting. It could be a project that you're involved with. That we've been at this steady level for a long time. And maybe we're thinking, God, this success is never going to come. It's never going to be, it's never going to blow up. We're never going to reach the level that we want. Well, the Nine of Pentacles is here to say that you will. But we've got to continue supplying the current to these three fans, to this Holy Trinity, right? So we need some activity. We need something to kind of spark this enthusiasm again. We've got to find some fire energy somewhere. But let's continue with the Earth path for a minute here. We've got, in the recent past, we've got this Queen of Pentacles. I feel like before you kind of started on this, work, you were in a pretty good place already. I feel like we're starting from a pretty good baseline, right? And I think maybe that you experienced a kind of a turning point in your life, kind of a crossroads sort of situation, where you, and I don't know how long ago this was, maybe a few months, but it was a moment where you looked back over the past, you assessed where you've been, where you came from, how you got here. And then I think you kind of flipped it around, right? And you started looking toward the future. You started looking, you looked at the past and you saw the winding road that you already have traversed to bring you where you were. And you said, God, if I could endure that, then this future, even though the future now is the same kind of winding road, well, you can endure that too, right? So I think you made that decision to kind of say, I'm not going to stop here. This isn't good enough. It was a turning point where it was a moment of decision where you either could say, hey, I've accomplished a lot, I'm good. Or you could look at the future and say, there's still so much more and I can handle it. And I think you're choosing to continue on, right? I think this was a moment in your life, maybe a few months ago. But now we kind of get confronted with that Eight of Cups, and it's that phase of the work where it's just been a real tedious, it's been real just grueling, and we're trying to endure, but we're just not really enjoying it so much anymore. But I think you're going to push through. And if we can, we get right here to this 9. That blow up, this big day is coming. Okay? This is the beginning of everything. Everything you've wanted is here. And we can do it. We can do it. But what we have to use to get us through, well, we don't have the fire. Right? There's no, literally, I can't, by any stretch of the imagination, find any fire in any of this, except maybe the 2. Maybe the 2. The 2s can be some fire. Okay. A little bit. Not enough, I think, to do what we need to do here. So we have to take our influence from these 2. Okay. The Prince of Cups. Now, the Prince of Cups is up here at the top. Now, I don't know if this is somebody that you're emulating, somebody that you're looking up to, an idol. If this is somebody in the same business as you, you know what I mean? Someone that you're looking at and thinking, God, they really made it big. They really did it. They're so successful. I want to be like that person, but I'm not feeling it. It could be someone in your life that seems like the perfect relationship. And you're just, yeah, I want that, but it's not It's not happening right now. I've been trying and trying and working, trying to keep everything going. It just hasn't happened yet. Well, what we don't know about this Prince of Cups is the facade you see on the outside is just a thin veneer, right? There is infinite depth to other people, and they might not be aware of it themselves, but it's there. They just, some people are more tapped in than others and whatever. But there's a lot that this person or whatever this is representing for you, there's a lot that they had to endure too. Just as you can go Queen of Pentacles and look back at the past and appreciate in your own way everything that you've been through. We have to assume that other people have similar experiences. We're all human, I think, except for this guy over here. He's not. Maybe he is, but maybe he's from the future. I don't know. We assume that other people have it so easy. That, wow, they just did it. Like, they just got lucky and it just happened for them. Yeah, I think luck's a big part of it. But I think it's struggle day after day. I think that whoever this person is, if this is an idol or someone that you're kind of looking toward as an example of what you want to attain, the kind of relationship that you want, the kind of business that you want, I almost can guarantee that they went through the exact same 3 of Pentacles and 8 of Cups that you did. Okay? So that realization, that kind of, that guarantee is going to help you to keep going. And then also we've got this air energy now. Now I think we can kind of talk about the Fool and the 7 of Swords. Because the 7 of Swords is kind of like this, this blockage. This is kind of something underneath the surface. This is you staying the course. This is you not deviating from the road that you're on. Staying in your lane. Right? But I think you have all of these other ideas around you. All of these other, it's almost, you're on like an 8-lane highway, I think they have 8-lane highways. And you just want to stay in one little lane. Well, we said that was a good thing, right? We said that we don't want the drone to make lateral movements, to just start doing tricks and to, we got to stay. We want to be steady so that we can ascend, right? But you have the desire to do these other different things. You have ideas galore. You want to branch out. You've got an idea for 20 channels. You have 100 products for your Etsy. You have plans and future ideas for your relationship. What kind of a life, what kind of a family, where do you want to live, what do you guys want to do together? Like, you have all of these plans. But we're trying to stay on the straight and narrow, trying to stay in your lane. Yeah, you've got all these other lanes that you can drift in and out of. You could do donuts. You can just drive backwards. You can have a good time, but you're just staying straight. Going in just straight ahead, right? But how great would it be if one day you could do this? One day you didn't have to restrict yourself. You didn't have to block yourself into this lane. Well, that's the Fool energy. The Fool energy now is that complete freedom to really fly this drone wherever the heck you want. Do all the tricks you want. Crash it. Doesn't matter. Get another one. This is the real freedom that we're after. This is the restriction. This is saying, look, you can have freedom later by being very restricted now. Stay in your lane now. And then later, you can have all the lanes you want. You can be free to do whatever it is. Experiment. Try different things. See, that's the thing about the Fool. The Fool doesn't really care about consequences, doesn't care really what happens to the drone. Just wants to fly it everywhere. I want to do every trick in the book. I want to go as high as I can. It's like when you're a kid and you're flying a kite, you're like, I'm going to see how high I can get this kite to go. Maybe we run out of string. Maybe, I don't know, maybe we hit a tree. Maybe it gets too strong up there with the winds and we lose control of it. It doesn't matter. I mean, that's the freedom of it. Now, if my life savings was attached to that kite, I'd be holding on a lot tighter. I probably wouldn't fly so high. I wouldn't try to do a bunch of, tricks. And a friend of mine had one of those, I don't know, it was like a stunt kite, the kind that have two handles, right? And if you pull it one way, it starts spinning. Pull it another way, it starts spinning. He spent a lot of money on that. The first time he gives me the handles to try flying it, first thing I do is shift it. The thing spirals right into the ground, destroyed. I had to pay him like $200. It was quite foolish. Now is not the time for that, right? Now is the time to learn what you're doing, do it steady, follow the path, stay in your lane, play by the rules. Then you earn the freedom to do whatever you want. In theory, because like I said at the beginning, we don't want to go full fool, right? We need to meet somewhere in the middle here. But I think it's this connection, this knowledge that's giving you, again, we're using these as reasons. I like to shake the cards like we're in an iPhone. We're using these energies as motivations to keep going to get here, all right? So by knowing that this freedom to innovate, to experiment, to be foolish, to fool around, to play, to have fun with it, that's coming. Right now is not the time. Right now is the time to stay the course. Get to this Nine of Pentacles. Okay, now we've got what's happening after this Nine of Pentacles. Well, it's really bringing tremendous transformation to your life. I think your life really is leveling up. I think that we are now, when we get to this point after the Nine of Pentacles, after this situation really does blow up, right? You can let go of some of the restrictions that we've had, right? You can let go of some of the things that we had to cling to. Now you have a little bit more freedom. Now we can let go of those old methods, right? You don't have to hold on to the kite string anymore. Now you can let it go, right? Because you're flying a new kind of kite, or it's you're flying a actual, like a drone, or I don't know, a radio-controlled airplane or something. It's a letting go of these old things that once were very useful to us, but now we've outgrown them. We can let them go, right? Thoughts, feelings, habits, routines, tendencies, people, places, situations, objects, or just those restrictions, those guidelines, right? We have to adapt. We have to have our own personal set of rules, right? Our own yama. We have to have our own discipline, but we have to be able to change it as we go. We can't just make a list of rather arbitrary rules for ourselves and say, I'm never going to violate those rules and that's how I'm going to live my life. Well, what if tomorrow one of these rules just doesn't make sense anymore? Are you still going to keep following it? You know? No, you're going to adapt. You're going to change your rules. You know, you make an absolute rule, okay, I can't have dairy. Well, that's fine. Maybe that's a rule that's going to be, you know, forever. But what if one day you accidentally have some dairy and you felt fine? Well, maybe you can change. Maybe you can say, well, maybe I can have a little bit of cheese. Maybe I can only have, you know, fermented dairy or something. We don't have these rigid guidelines that we can't let go of. We outgrow them, you know? Like my daughter, I tell my daughter, if we're going beyond the sidewalk, we have to hold hands. If we're in a parking lot, anywhere that there's cars, we have to hold hands, either me or your mom. Oh, when she's 30 years old, am I going to keep the same rule? I mean, I got to hold my hand when we're in the middle of, I mean, maybe by then she'll have to hold my hand, otherwise I won't be able to cross the street on my own because I'll be old, you know. But the point is, we're not going to keep the same rules as people grow out of those restrictions. So that's what the death card is about here. It's about you learning kind of what you need to let go of and what new things you need to bring in. This is also about making room in our life to continue growing this. Maybe there are other things that you were focused on that you wanted in your life that now you don't really want anymore because you want to keep growing this relationship, this business, this Etsy or the YouTube channel, whatever. So we've got to let other things go. Other plans that you've had for your life, other things that you thought you wanted to do, now you realize, okay, I'm not so interested in those things anymore. So I'm going to let those go because I want to continue pursuing this work. And of course, that is a rule or a guideline that you can always change. Okay? That's the point of this one. Now we're talking about change. The next card we have in the environment here is the Two of Pentacles. This is the environment changing. These two cards pretty much went exactly together. This was the theory and this was the practice of changing, letting go, outgrowing habits, routines, desires, and formulating new ones. It's understanding that we can change, that nothing is set in stone ever, even things that are set in stone. The stone is still a living thing. It's still growing and transforming and changing. In 100 years, it's not going to be the same stone. Or 1,000 years, I don't know. Stones grow very slowly. Minerals, crystals, that sort of thing. Metals. So this is the fluidity of the physical environment. Knowing that we can adapt and change. Knowing that if I make a decision right now, I'm not going to hold myself to that for the rest of my life, right? We can change, we can adapt to the situation. When you level up, when you get this big, when your business really takes off, you're not going to do things exactly the same way as when your business was small. That's not going to work, right? You have to adapt to the changing circumstances and maybe even try to get a step ahead to anticipate where your business is going. But at the very least, we have to adapt to the environment and the situation that we're in so that we can keep making progress. If you're still doing the same things as when your business was really small, you're going to restrict the growth. It's going to probably revert back. You know, it's like you keep treating a person like a child. Well, even when they're an adult, they're going to revert back to a child. We have to adapt. We have to change the way we interact with things as those things grow and change, as we grow and change, because nothing is static. And that's what the Two of Pentacles is all about, reminding us that nothing is static. Everything is a process. Everything is constantly growing, changing, moving, flowing, right? Expanding, contracting, breathing. Nothing is static. But now the next card, we've got some good water energy. I think this is really a depth card. This is assessing the significance of this work, and we didn't really talk about that. What are you doing, and why does it mean so much to you? Because you are so committed. You know, we have to explore the Queen of Cups here. It looks like you don't want to. It looks to me like you just want to stick to business. Well, maybe the final step in all of this, after this big expansion or whatever it is, maybe then we can assess our emotions a little bit, really go into the depths. Let's look past the surface level. Yeah, obviously I want to have a successful life. I want to take care of my family, my friends, you know, my loved ones, my pets, my plants. I want to have certain things in my life. I want to be able to create. I want to have freedom of expression, freedom of movement, freedom of creation, freedom of thought, experimentation. Yeah, I want all those things. The surface level. Maybe we're getting a little deeper, right? Let's keep going. Let's keep going a little bit deeper in what we want, why we want it. Does it have a connection with your past, with your childhood? Does it have a connection with significant moments or events in your life? Right? Let's really do that deep work, because then I think we'll be able to kind of temper this freedom a little bit. We're not just going to go crazy with this freedom. We're going to understand why it's important, why we want it, and then we're going to be able to to have some sort of discipline over it, right? But I think that's only going to come through this real depth analysis of yourself. And then I think we'll be able to get a nice balance between these two, right? Between staying in your lane and just doing donuts all over the freeway. Let's find a nice happy medium, okay? But wherever your medium is, it's going to depend on what you discover here, right? Wherever we fall on this spectrum between Seven of Swords and Fool, it's going to depend on what you find in that Queen of Cups. Now, let's look at this mystery card. Bonus card, confirmation card. Thank you, horse. Very fine animal. I don't know what this is going to be, except maybe some sort of balance between the air energy, or we're going to get some more earth, some big time earth energy. That's my only prediction. We got the Hierophant. The Hierophant is big time earth energy. The Hierophant really is kind of a guiding principle for you. I think the Hierophant is kind of your higher power, almost your conscience, almost the kind of the righteousness a little bit of what you're doing. I know that righteousness is kind of a bad word. This is your certainty that you're doing the right thing, that this path that you're on, it's a healthy path, it's a holistic path, it's maybe not altruistic, but it's meant to be of service to people. It's something that's going to benefit at least your loved ones, your pets, your plants, your people, right? So I feel like you have this kind of divine sanction that's saying, yes, what you're doing is a noble pursuit. Even if it's a business, even if it's a YouTube channel, even if it's just a relationship with a partner. It's like you know in your heart and in your higher mind, you know in your soul that this is the right thing. Okay? And I think because of that, you're listening to your higher self and you're understanding these energies. Even though we have these kind of tendencies, we have especially these two and then the Eight of Cups there, we have those energies going on, but you trust in the process, you trust in the higher authority, you trust in spirit, right? That spirit is kind of covering things for you. You know, that you've got this wise teacher or mentor that is helping you navigate some of these energies. So I really like the Hierophant as our bonus card. And this is also saying that, you know, there are other people in your environment that are there to help you and support you. So don't feel bad leaning on others during this time, especially during this Three of Discs, Eight of Cups time. Right now, it might be important for you to lean on those people that are around you, your support people, your employees, your friends, your family, whatever. Don't be afraid to do that. Okay, don't be afraid to ask for help, either from above or from the people around you. Okay. We're going to do an extended Scorpio. If you would like to stick around for that, just click on the link that's up here. Thank you so much for being here. Please hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 100K. I never thought we'd get to 100K, honestly. I've been doing this officially on YouTube for a little over a year, and the growth, the support, the interaction with everyone, with this community has been amazing. And I'm really, really appreciative of it. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot.